Whoops. So I'm just going to head over to the YouTube page right now and post the join link so that any flat earthers out there can join the debate. And I'm willing to debate the GLOBEBUSTERS, because I see that they have been doing some shows on flat Earth. And I'll debate anyone from the GLOBEBUSTERS right now, live on here. So I'm just gonna head over to the YouTube. Okay, hold on. So I'm posting the link to join. There you go. It's underneath the video. So if you are a GLOBEBUSTER, come on in here and I'll debate you on the flat Earth right now, because flat Earth is a Psyop. It's an anti-Christian Psyop designed to try and discredit creation science. And I don't see a whole lot of good reasoning and logic behind the flat Earth stuff. People have actually, perhaps they have some good evidence. Maybe it could be interpreted that way, but their conclusions are just terrible. The Earth is not flat. The Earth is a sphere. It's a ball. God makes balls, and He uses the flower of life, fractal holographic matrix design, and it's made of balls. It's not a trickle of life that's found all over the earth, and in seashells and sunflowers and all trees, probably every plant and animal uses this design, spherical design. The holographic matrix that we're in that God makes is made of spheres. It's not made of flat two-dimensional stuff, unless you're really into quantum physics or something and you want to get really far abstract theories going on. But in reality, the matrix that we live in, the holographic fractal matrix that God designs and creates, is made of spheres, and the Earth is a sphere, just like your eyeball is a sphere. And I know that in the Bible it says He sits above the circle of the Earth. Well, spheres appear as a circle. When you look at a ball or a sphere, you see a circle. And so a circle is not a disc. He doesn't sit above the disc of the Earth. Okay, He says He sits above the circle of the Earth. And that's just as, like this says, the humans are as grasshoppers. They appear as grasshoppers, very, very tiny. In this way, spheres appear as circles, and the Earth is a sphere. It's a ball. And if you're GLOBEBUSTERS or flat Earth, the link is below the video, and I'll debate you on it live right now. Because I don't think the flat earthers are using a whole lot of reason and logic. And I think they're drawing false conclusions, just like evolution. I would say the flat Earth, actually the flat Earth Psyop, is backfiring in your face, because flat Earth is like being an evolutionist. It's having some maybe good observations and completely false conclusions based on the observations. So that's what the flat Earth thing is. It's a lie and a deception, like the evolution theory. And so if you disagree with me, come in here and I'll debate you live. If you want to debate evolution, I'll debate you live on that right now. But I'm more looking for some flat earthers to come in the room and try and defend your position again about the flat Earth. Because the Earth is a sphere, it's a ball, it's round, and It hangs upon nothing in space, and it spins around, and that's why you see all the stars going across the sky at night. If the stars were spinning around the Earth, okay, just to think about how fast they would have to be moving through space, okay, for you know, Alpha Centauri or whatever to go all the way around the sky in 24 hours at that distance and come back around. Far away stars see you. You know, you have to have a really powerful telescope to look at a star because they're very, very far away. How they move to spin around a disk Earth. It's just silly, it's nonsense, and flooded. It's a major distraction from the evolution creation debate, because flat Earth means nothing. What if the Earth is flat? What does that change in the world? What difference does that make to me if the Earth is flat? Let's think about it for a minute. Oh, zero. It makes zero difference to anything that's going on, anything that's true, anything that's meaningful. Even if it was flat, it would mean nothing. It would change nothing. So there's bigger problems going on. Okay, they're not teaching the flat Earth school, so they're teaching evolution to children in school. So that's something that's a meaningful debate and a meaningful discussion that you're getting involved in, researching and challenging the scientific community on is evolution. That's meaning higher worldview, where you came from, what you are, where you're going in the future, how you think about things in your day, how you think about other people. Evolution affects all of those things. The belief in evolution affects your entire life, everything about you. That is a debate worth having. That's a discussion worth having. That's something worth researching. Flat Earth is a waste of resources of an intelligent community of truth-seeking people that are trying to expose major lies. Flat Earth is a psyop. It's a waste of time. It's a distraction. It divides the entire truther community in half. You know, and I have to sit here and dedicate my time and to calling on the flat earthers to come on my channel and say, come and debate this flat Earth psyop, because I know the Earth is a sphere because God showed it to me. It's a sphere. God showed me it. I know it is. So I don't have to know any of the science and the math and the angle of the sun at the North Pole, because I know it's a sphere. And if you think you can prove me wrong, come in here and try it. See what happens. Maybe you can prove me wrong. Maybe you'll change my mind. But I doubt it. But anyways, I'm kind of ranting here a little bit, but this flat Earth thing has gone over the top, and people have to stop wasting their time on it, stop arguing about it, and it needs to be put to rest, because it's a psyop to divide the truth community in half, and which is what it's done. So now what are they going to do? They're going to divide those two halves in half again, and those halves in half again, until everybody's divided. Everybody's fighting amongst themselves, and they can teach whatever they want and push whatever they want on the children while no one's looking. So if you think you can prove me wrong, come in here and debate me live right now. I'll hang around for about an hour, waiting for some flat earthers to come in here. GLOBEBUSTERS, if you watch my channel, if anybody out there watches the GLOBEBUSTERS, I'm calling all you guys onto my channel live right now, and to try and convince me that I'm wrong. I'll have a look at the YouTube page here, just make sure the link is there and it's working. But this is an open debate challenge to any flat earthers that want to come in here and defend. I haven't even researched a lot. I'm not I can prove the globe Earth from 7 different ways. So don't be scared or whatever. Come in here with your paints. Let's put them on the, have a look. Sorry about just ranting on here, but I thought someone would come in, you know, right off the hop, because these flat Earth people are everywhere. So I know probably someone's watching this right now. Come on in here, just why you believe it. Tell me what points I should consider. Why anything. Flat Earthers, come in here. And there's a link under the video in the description. And GLOBEBUSTERS, come in here. Anybody else who's a flat earther, come in here and I'll debate you live on it right now. Calling you guys out, man. You better come and represent your position. And again, I'm going to go over the don't give me that God sits above the circle of the earth, because a sphere appears as a circle. Okay? A disc, first of all, a circle isn't a disc. He doesn't sit above the disc of the earth. Okay? And a disc doesn't appear as a circle unless you're looking at it, you know, straight on like this. But if you're looking at it at any other angle, a disc is not a circle. It would be like a football shaped, an oblate spheroid, or whatever it is. So God sits above the circle of the earth, the sphere of the earth, the round ball of the earth. God sits above it. And guess what else? The earth is God's footstool. And God's footstool isn't flat. God doesn't rest his feet on a flat footstool. That's not even a footstool. That's a foot pad. It doesn't say the earth is God's foot pad. It says the earth is God's footstool. So anyway, the Bible in no way teaches a flat earth. It's just not in there. I just don't think you guys have anything. Okay, so NASA fakes videos. I agree. NASA fakes videos. They fake, not meaning the earth is flat. It means NASA fakes videos. Okay, NASA is essentially a fake front space program. It's just a front, okay, while the real business goes on in the black projects and stuff with the anti-gravity crowd, you know, since the 60s and so on and on. So yeah, we know NASA's fake, we know it lies, but it's not because the earth is flat, okay? There's lots of reasons why the government wants to keep the civilian population out of space, okay? They want to dominate space, all of it, and keep you in as a small box as possible. Not because the earth's flat, but because they want power and control. So, and you know what, I've watched a lot of that footage of you know, astronauts in space and stuff like that. You know what? I think a lot of it is good. It's believable. I think it's actual people in outer space. Not all of it's fake. I know lots of the moon stuff was fake, and they were faking images of the earth. That's because they don't take rockets to the moon, okay? They take anti-gravity craft to the moon. So fake some footage, but it's not because the earth is flat. It's because they have advanced technologies, and there's a breakaway civilization on Earth, probably, you know, very far advanced with advanced Nephilim technology. This is what all the occult, all the human sacrifice and stuff is about, going all the way back to Babylon, is they appease certain powers and principalities and rulers of darkness with, you know, different forms of sacrifices and death and stuff like that here, in exchange for advanced information, advanced knowledge, technology, okay, that is all demonic and satanic, and is just part of the deception. So the flat earth thing is a deception. If if you think I'm wrong, come in here right now and tell me why I'm wrong, because the Earth is a sphere. Flat Earth is a psyop. Flat Earth, flat earthers believe a psyop. You are being distracted from the evolution debate, which affects everything in your life, everything in your worldview, and to be researching and watching videos and dedicating your time to a distraction. A flat Earth distraction. So that's it. I guess I just had enough today, because I've been watching the GLOBEBUSTERS a couple nights this week, and you know, sitting around laughing at the live feed footage from the International Space Station or whatever. It's like, okay, even if the footage is fake, it doesn't mean the Earth's flat. And I don't think they have any real arguments. And I don't know who these guys are who are really behind the flat Earth thing, who actually do a lot of the live shows and the main guys involved with it. But the interest is gone, because they probably work for some, you know, 3 or 4 letter agency somewhere. It's just, guys, it's all part of dividing the truth community, distracting them. And I'll debate any of you flat earthers right now live. Come on in, and I'll just be hanging out. This is Fritz Stamberger for Island Online News, and this is the Flat Earth Psyop Debate Challenge live. Tell all your flat Earth friends about it. Go to all those people on Facebook that have been posting about how the Earth is flat, and send them over here. Tell them there's a live debate challenge. If they want to bring on some points, bring it on. Because it's just it's a psyop, guys. Or if you want to just talk about it, if you've had any comments from flat earthers or anything like that, you can come on in. Or if you think evolution is true and that I'm wrong about evolution theory, then come in here and I'll debate you about evolution. Because evolution is a lie as well. Evolution is a psyop as well, invented by Satan and taught to Erasmus Darwin and Charles Darwin by Satan in the occult societies. And Roger Morneau, who was in the occult society, said that he was told that all teachers of evolution are followed around specific by higher life while they teach evolution. They have a demon assigned to them by Satan, the evolution teaching. So evolution is the meaningful debate. Evolution is the gigantic lie that's being taught to every child. Evolution is the lie that matters and affects your life and affects who you think you are, where you think you're going, and where you came from. That's the discussion that needs to be had. That's the truth that needs to be broadcast. That's the lie that needs to be exposed, is the evolution lie, not the flat earth lie. The earth is a sphere, the earth is a ball, because we live in a flower of life, fractal, holographic matrix of energy, because that's the perfect design, because God designs it and he designs it perfectly. And that's a perfect design. If you have a better design than the flower of life holographic fractal matrix, then come on here and tell me your better design that's better than God's design. I'd like to hear it. And if you want to debate on the shape of the earth, come in here, click the link below the video, and come on in here and give it your best shot. Because flat earth is... So anyway, I'm sitting here waiting. Maybe I'll just tell you a little insight that I had earlier today about when Satan said in the garden to Adam and Eve that their eyes would be open and they would be as gods. And I was thinking just about that, how what's the definition of small g gods in the Bibles? False idols. So when Satan said to Adam and Eve, ye shall be as gods, he was saying ye shall be as false idols. And then later, when Jesus said, or the Pharisees said to Jesus, oh, you raise yourself up as though you're God. And Jesus says to the Pharisees, is it not written in your law, ye are gods? Small g again, right? So he's saying to them, isn't it not written in your law that men have raised themselves up as false idols? And he says to them, nevertheless, you will die as men. So what he was saying is that, he says, yeah, well, all men have raised themselves up as gods. And he says, but the difference between you and I is that you will die. And I am God, so he wasn't just raising himself up falsely like other men do. So I just thought that was an interesting little insight I had today, or revelation that the Lord gave me. So ye shall be as gods, ye shall be as false idols. And the flat earth theory is a false idol. People are becoming involved in the flat earth thing, and like they talk about it every day. They're Facebooking about it, making videos about it, doing live broadcasts about it, watching the ISS live feed, trying to debunk it because the camera's going lighter and darker as it travels through space. So anyway, I'm ranting again, but I want to debate a flat earther, and specifically the GLOBEBUSTERS. I'm calling out the GLOBEBUSTERs. This is Fritz Stamberger from Island Online News. And if you don't want to come in here and do it live right now, then I'll come on your show and debate you on there. And wherever. If you want to do it on your channel, fine. But I'm calling out the GLOBEBUSTERs and their flat Earth Psyop. That I don't think that they... Well, I don't know the guys in charge there, but a lot of the people watching the GLOBEBUSTERs, like 200 viewers, a lot of those people are just following those guys. So they're... I don't remember what point I was trying to make there, but they're leading a lot of people astray, and they're distracting a lot of people. And I'll debate those guys live right now. GLOBEBUSTERs, come on in here. Let's watch some ISS footage right now, and debate it. And you know what? Fine, I'll give it to you right now. ISS footage is fake. It's fake footage. The space station's fake. Fine, I don't care. Okay, this is because they have advanced technology, way ahead of what you're using anti-gravity. They have gigantic transport ships now with anti-gravity. They use special, black technologies. They can go in and out of the Earth's atmosphere without heat shielding and like all that, like the heat tiles and all that stuff. The shuttles have. They don't need that stuff. They have different design craft. And here's an interesting fact that a lot of people probably didn't know, is that it's really hard to weaponize an anti-gravity craft, which is good for us. But that's something that they have a hard time doing, because if you put a weapon mounted on an anti-gravity craft, it disrupts the anti-gravity shield around the craft. So they're hard to weaponize, and that's good for us, I suppose. But nevertheless, we're getting off on a rabbit trail here. But I guess the point I was trying to make is that the fake NASA stuff is because they have super advanced technology. They've got way more advanced stuff in outer space than people generally know about. They've got probably bases on Mars, bases on the moon, you know, ships going all over the solar system. They have fleets of ships. There was a guy, I think his name was Gary McKinnon in the UK, who hacked in to NASA or whatever, and he got some records of like transferring captains between like space vessels, like big ships in space. So, and I think he's in a prison somewhere in a hole for revealing that information. Hello, Arcane. Oh, Arcane, what's up?
Yo, what's up, my brother?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Chilling, man. I like your topic, though, man. That's really awesome.
Yeah, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I have no idea, man. I actually recently have been looking at some of the flat Earth stuff. You know, it's been coming up more frequently. And, you know, some of that stuff is believable, man, but it's still hard for me to detach from a global, you know, mindset of thinking that the Earth is a globe, man. It's just too hard to fathom that it's a spinning disc, like a top or something like that. I don't know. But what do you think their goal is by trying to say the Earth is flat? Do you think they have an agenda, or is it more so just typical misinformation, same old, same old?
Yeah, I think I see a few agendas behind it. A simple one would be to divide the truth community in half.
Huh.
That would be one agenda. Another agenda would be to propose a huge lie that's really, really big, like the evolution lie. Because the problem that they have with this evolution thing is there's no real other that I can think of comparable size lies. And so that I think that's one aspect. Make a comparable size lie to the evolution thing, to kind of people can't, even as large as the shape of the Earth that you're on.
Right.
You know, which the evolution lie is a huge lie, like where you came from and what you are. You know, people believe a complete lie about what they are and where they came from.
Right. I was just talking to a friend of mine today about that, and you know how we're sort of conditioned to believe certain things that eventually over time will manifest themselves in the destruction of our own people, you know? And it's so hard for people who aren't biblically minded to really take it in, you know? It's like they see it as just woo-ha, but it's, you know, I can see it when I look at history and stuff. And I think more Christians are being open to looking at this historical lies for what they are. But we still do have a lot that are on the fence, and you're right. That's a good point. That, you know, their agenda could be to divide the believers, but absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And also now, when you say that the Earth is young, 6,000 to 10,000 years old, then now the response is, oh, you're like in this exact same neurolinguistic programming as, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
It's that exact technique, and it's working. Frustrating.
Right. Yeah, that's a good psychological move on their part to kind of try to discredit the person by attaching labels and stigmas on the people who tell the truth about something. It's their way of avoiding dealing with the consequences of what's going on, or discussing the evidence, or looking at the facts. It's their way of diversion by attaching labels on the people that are stigmatized. kind of gets people, and it's effective. You know, when I come across a video, sometimes I'll scroll down and read the comments before I even look at the video. And if the first few comments are like, oh, this is BS, this is BS, I get that inkling in my mind that it might be, you know, it's effective in that way. But I think real truth seekers will look for the truth and the evidence wherever it is, no matter who's telling it.
Yep.
But tell me more about this this global Earth, man. Why do you think you have good reason to think that it's a globe and not flat? I'll play devil's advocate.
Well, I think I could say I know it's a sphere because I had a dream vision where God brought me up into outer space. This doesn't happen to me all the time. This was like a one-time thing where he brought me up to outer, like the space outside the Earth, looking down on the Earth. And he spoke to me and I could see the Earth there. And this is, you know, one of my major revelation experiences where God revealed himself to me. And as soon as I heard his voice, I actually started just bawling my eyes out because you could feel the truth and the love in his voice. Like it shook the whole heavens, like, you know, like the whole entire heavens vibrated and shook. And then you feel the truth and the love in his voice like a fire hose times 1,000, like hitting you. It's very, very powerful. And it just makes you start bawling your eyes out. And then I woke up at that point after he said he said to me, I'll just tell you, he said, the Earth is the most, I said, why did we make the Earth out of all things imaginable? And he said, well, because it's the most perfect thing we could imagine and you can make anything from it. That's what he said to me. And I started bawling my eyes out because of the sound and the power of his voice. And I woke up like bawling my eyes out. And, like it lasted for like a few minutes, you know, like the power of his voice hitting me. And so anyway, and then years later now, so that was part of my conversion experience years ago when I was like 25. And then now here we are like 10 years later, and all these people are coming out saying the Earth is flat, the Earth is a disc. And I'm thinking, no, well, that's not what God showed me. So I know it's not flat. And they're picking up steam and they're getting a lot of viewers, and it's becoming a big topic and split the whole truth community. And so I just thought I just had to say something about it, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's definitely interesting, man. I've had some experiences in my conversion experience or whatever, but nothing like that. I'd say I've never seen the globe of the Earth. I've never been out there. So are there any scientific reasons you think that it's a globe rather than a flat disc or whatever?
Yeah, sure. I think because of the stars, like the way if you watch the night sky, that looks like we're on a ball spinning, you know, and like they can't be moving that fast traveling around us because they're so far away. We know because you can try and look at them in a telescope, and to be going around us every 24 hours like that, they would just be going way too fast. Like we're talking like billions upon billions of like light years per minute or whatever, like way too fast. So it just can't work. It doesn't work. We have to be on something spinning. That's what it looks like to me. Also, we have, you know, the angle of the sun that matches up with the tilt and the rotation and everything. And when you go up to the northern climates, the sun gets lower in the sky, you know, to the point where it's like skimming the horizon for 6 months, or maybe like dark for 6 months, because you're so far up towards the top of a ball that based on the time of year, you know, you can go 6 months of darkness or whatever. 6 months of light. That makes sense on a ball. It doesn't make sense on a disc. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I'm just weighing the options here. I've heard people make arguments explaining both of those, even though I probably couldn't articulate them as well as they could. But one of the arguments that I saw is pretty simple to understand. If we're on a ball and we're trying to look into the distance, we should not be able to see like flat horizons from one point to another if it's rounded, right? So like I saw this video that they saw the Chicago skyline from Michigan, and that wouldn't be possible, you know, due to the curvature, natural curvature of the sphere of the Earth. You couldn't see that skyline from that distance, and there was a meteorologist trying to explain it by saying that it was just a mirage based on like light being altered in some way that made it look like it was a horizon, but it really wasn't a horizon. But I don't know, I just didn't buy that. I think that that is kind of compelling, but I haven't heard a refutation yet. So what do you how do you think we can explain that?
Well, there's some weird stuff that happens. Did you ever see that video where there was like a city that appeared in China, like in the mist? Did you ever see that video?
No, what happened?
Yeah, there's some stuff that goes on with like being able to see cities at far distances and stuff like that. And who knows, man? Like there can be there could be a lot of explanations for like seeing a city at a far distance, different light effects and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To me,
I know that I can't, like I live in British Columbia. I can't go up on top of one of these mountains and look and see over to like Quebec, you know, so I can only really see so far. There's telescopes, you know, on the tops of a lot of mountains. Like I imagine, so if you went up to like the top of a mountain with a telescope and looked, it would be interesting to see how far you can see on land through a big professional telescope. Now, I've never done that. I'll probably look into that and find like a picture or something on that. I'm sure they must have tried it, right, with these big telescopes, like just looking around to see how far they can see.
Oh, I'm sure. I've been up to the Sears Tower quite a few times, and I've never really paid attention to that. You know, I was really just looking at the view.
Mm-hmm.
But the next time I go up, I'm gonna see, you know, I'm gonna ask how far we can see from there, and then see, you know, what the distance is for the curvature where you're not supposed to see a horizon of something at that distance, and then see if I can see something from the top of the Sears Tower. But to me, yeah, that's an interesting observation, and I haven't heard any refutation necessarily.
And I think I have an even better one because I grew up on the north shore of Lake Erie, and it's a fishing village, and my grandfather owned a fishery and stuff, and we actually had a telescope in there, and we would look out there to see where the boats were out on the lake, and there was a certain distance where if they went that far over, you just could not see them with the telescope, like 4 stories up, looking straight out at water.
Yeah.
They just disappear. Like, I don't know, I suppose, like they say that it's a vanishing point or whatever. That doesn't really make sense. But what I'm saying is that I couldn't see across Lake Erie with a telescope. I know that much.
Lake Erie is pretty big too. How many miles is it across?
And that's looking across the short way from
Yeah.
the north shore of Lake Erie. Looking down is the short way across Lake Erie, and I couldn't see across that lake with a telescope looking from like 4 stories up.
How many hundreds of miles? How many miles you think it is?
I don't know. That's interesting. I'm gonna try and look that up really quick.
Yeah.
And so I can
think Michigan is like humongo.
So I guess that would be like looking over across to Cleveland from the North Shore. So let's see here. It's one of the 4th largest lakes by surface area in the 5 Great Lakes. Um, Good storms on Lake Erie. There's like we get big waves on there. Lots of shipwrecks on Lake Erie. I'm just looking for the size of it here. Okay, so it's has a length of 241 miles and a breadth of 57 miles. So I would have been looking about, it would be 57 miles to the other side. Now, should you be able to see 57 miles away on land? I don't know, I would think so.
I don't know. Let's see.
So that's 92 kilometers. So it's 100 kilometers across. Can you see 100 kilometers with the naked eye from the top of a mountain? I think you can from a mountaintop, maybe. Maybe not from four stories up. I guess I got to start doing my flat Earth research here.
Well, let's do some. Maybe we can do a little math. I don't know. My math isn't as good as it used to be, but Live Science says for a 6 foot tall person, the horizon is a little more than 3 miles away. So 6 times, let's say, for a 4-story building, say 6 times 5.
Mm-hmm.
3 miles. So let's say you're able to see 50 miles.
Okay, that would be max, yeah. 50 miles is just not quite enough to make it across. So even with a telescope, so that kind of makes sense, right? It makes sense that I couldn't see across 60 miles away.
Yeah.
Because of the curvature of the Earth. Flat Earthers, if you think I'm wrong, come in here and tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, maybe your telescope didn't have enough juice, man. Maybe you needed a bigger toy.
Better telescope, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I wonder about that, though, man. Who knows, man? I mean, you say, if God revealed it to you, you can't really argue against that, can you? But for people questioning it, I think it's an interesting discussion, man. I would hate to see it divide people so much, where they get in full-blown arguments and divide over it. But I think it's something cool to talk about, definitely.
Yeah, it would be nice to just put it to rest, I think, and just prove it one way or the other, like definitively.
They could do that so simply, and they won't. You've got to wonder why.
Huh.
Well, how would you do it?
How about turn the camera around on one of these so-called space shuttles?
Well, they've got stuff up there they don't want you to see.
Yeah, like the planets.
No, not the planet, other stuff.
Well, how
That's
come
what we know for sure, is that they have other stuff up there that they don't want
How
you to
come we can't see the planets without seeing the other stuff?
see. What planets?
The one you're trying to figure out is either a globe or a flat Earth.
Why don't they have they do have a camera on the Earth, as far as I can tell. There's like a live feed.
I'd like to see a spinning globe, real time.
Okay, am I wrong? Because I've looked this up on YouTube, and there's like a live feed from the ISS just flying over the Earth.
You don't honestly think that what you're looking at is not a CGI represented piece of crap?
No, it looked like a live feed. Looked like a live feed to me.
Well,
I've seen the ISS fly right over me.
I'm sure you have. I don't buy it.
It was bright.
How many satellites are supposed to be in orbit right now?
Well, you know, if you rely on what people think is GPS, and we've got 1 million of them up there, you'd see them 24/7 flying by at 14,000 miles an hour. It's all horseshit. So's the math.
Yeah, you can see the stars, which are billions of light years away or whatever.
You can't see stars in space.
You think you put on a filter to block out starlight, right, and sunlight and stuff. You gotta have some kind of filter on there.
Stars from here, you should be able to see them out there.
Well, I'm sure that, but in space, it's so full of light that they would have some kind of light filter, so you didn't just get blinded, right?
No.
Well, how come we can't look up and see the satellites? Like we see the stars.
I see satellites all the time at night. You can see tons of them. If you just go out and look at night, you'll see hundreds of them.
Let me ask you a question. If you can't see 60 miles, what makes you think you're going to see a satellite?
What's that? Sorry, you cut out there.
How high up are the satellites?
I mean, I don't do a lot of math, but, cut me a break.
How high up are the satellites?
It just looks like a star going across the sky at a steady pace in a straight line. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah, no.
Go out any night and look up there, and you'll notice that 3 or 4 of the stars in your field of vision are steadily traveling across the sky in a straight path. Those are satellites.
Are you sure those aren't planes?
No, no, I'm talking about satellites. They look about the same size as a star.
According to
so when you watch people like Crow 777 or Dark Sky Watcher, guys that have, you're talking about 12-inch lenses out there. They're pulling right on up. They're looking all over the place. They can't find them. Have you had to produce one?
Have you never? You don't see the things going across the sky.
Oh, yeah, hardly. Especially with all the chemtrailing, you're dreaming.
Well, obviously, if it's some heavy spray, you're not going to see the sky. But on a clear night, you can see lots of satellites. It's just standard.
This satellite here.
I know you think you're looking at them, but I'm not seeing what you're looking at.
Well, they're satellites because they move at a steady speed in a perfectly straight line and never deviate.
That's if you believe in
satellites. If it does a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn, you got something else on your hands. But I've seen hundreds of them. They don't turn. They're satellites. Yeah,
well, if that fake space station is up there, you can rest assured if any other piece of junk is up there, it's not anything we're using anything major with.
No, that's just all for public consumption.
Absolutely.
But it's not because the Earth is flat. It's because they have advanced technology that they don't even know about.
How many plants and how many mice do you think we've seen and launched up there over the past 40 years? What did we get out of it? Tang, Velcro, and microwave?
I understand that.
I mean, come on.
I understand they have.
We have one picture. One picture NASA likes to float. One.
You know what? You know why they? You know why they do that? They like to keep.
Decide to build a rocket that's going to take 9 years to get to Pluto, and we send a 1-pixel camera up. Interesting. You gotta love the high def, bad pixelization you get out of NASA. You're dreaming. I don't believe a shitload word of any close.
Psyop achieved, right?
We can't get a rocket back up there. How come we can't get a rocket up there?
I'm sure there's lots of reasons you can't get a rocket up there.
Yeah, because we haven't gone there and they don't want us up there, and there's a reason they don't want us up there.
Yes, that's true.
You gotta think about it.
They want maximum control. That's right. That's why they don't want you up there, because they want to control you. They want to keep you in your box.
They have a different.
Keep your head down and keep working down here. And if they want you up there, they'll come and get you and put you up there.
Slave planet.
But this all has nothing to do with the flat Earth. That's where the whole thing goes sideways. That's where everybody gets sidetracked and sideswiped, and Psyop achieved is when they say it's because the Earth is flat. It's for other reasons that you need to be researching.
Like what?
Like the secret space program.
No kidding. That's where all that money went. Ask Rumsfeld.
Right. So there's a secret space program, if people don't know, It's much more advanced than what NASA is doing. It has anti-gravity. They probably have some sort of portal system. Andrew Basiago talks about jump gates to Mars. You know, jump rooms and stuff, doors they can walk in and you come out the other door, and they're actually starting to leak this and starting to give this to the public, saying that they have portals now, saying they have this basic portal technology, but little do you know they've been using these portals probably for 50 years.
It's the Philadelphia experiment.
So I understand all that stuff, but it's not because the Earth is flat.
How do you know?
Because God showed me the Earth as a sphere. So.
Okay.
So, are you a flat earther, Michael?
I'm an investigator of known liars.
Investigator of known liars, good one. So who's on the top of your list there?
And I actually have relanguaged myself from Roman Catholic to conspiracy theist.
Oh, that's great. Praise God.
Amen.
Conspiracy theist, that's awesome, actually. I've never heard that one.
I made it up.
That's good.
Meetings are Wednesdays at 8.
Conspiracy theist. Do you have a channel that you do hangouts or something on?
Nope. I just wander through the universe.
All right.
Gathering information.
Conspiracy theist.
Yeah, Michael's
awesome.
Michael's a very smart lady. I enjoy our conversations a lot.
I like to be inquisitive.
Yeah, definitely. What led you out of the Catholic Church, if you don't mind my asking?
I was born into it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Kindergarten, grade school, high school, nursing school, and most hospitals that I worked in.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I don't think I met an atheist for about 50 years.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. I'd probably argue with you on that one. You were hanging out with Catholics.
Everybody I knew was Catholic. I didn't, you know, I knew a couple of Jewish people.
That doesn't necessarily mean they know who the Lord is. That's for sure. Did you, in your experience, Roman Catholicism is more of like a cultural kind of thing, right? Like you're born into it. It's like a.
Well, it's like being Jewish. You know, you have your rules. It's, you know, you do what you do.
You do what you do. It's kind of cultural. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've been saved by Jesus Christ and have a genuine trust and faith in Him.
No, I wouldn't say that. I have a personal relationship. Started well back when I was maybe, I don't know, 13, 14.
That's great.
Been working with God for a long time. I just don't do the shit men do when it comes to God. I don't pay attention to any of that crap.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I work for him, he works for me. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
So, in your reading of the Bible, do you believe the Bible teaches a flat earth or a round earth?
Appears to me to speak flat.
Why?
I don't know, 4 pillars, all sorts of stuff.
You don't think that's an obvious, that's obviously idiomatic?
To you, maybe. It's not how I take it. I don't understand the firmament.
Well, firmament is an expanse, so it would just be like the sky or whatever.
No. It's a thing.
Well, the firmament just means expanse.
No. The expanse does not fall between 2 bodies of water.
Yes, it could if there's the water that's on the earth and then there's water above the earth. That would mean there's space in the middle, which would be called a firmament.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a space.
Well, it's a thing.
Well, it's not no thing,
It
I would assume.
could be space, it could be a piece of glass, it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. Could be. Do you I believe in the water canopy, a thin frozen water canopy supported by maybe electromagnetism or whatever. There would
Well,
have.
I have a problem with, and I'm not a scientific or math person. I'm a registered nurse by trade, and I'm just now looking into this, including the Bible. But I have a problem with gravity. And simply, as a blonde can put it, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And I have crawled the planet asking everybody I know, what is the direct opposite of gravity? And nobody can tell me that.
The direct opposite of gravity?
So, yeah, what's the equal and opposite reaction to gravity?
Well, I would say gravity would be some sort of an electrical force, and so
Right.
it would be like the opposite.
The reason why they couldn't figure it out is because the principles do not lend to distance. And I have a problem with a spinning globe because, as you know, if you're at the top of spinning anything, you're really not going to feel it too bad. You go down to about the sides and you're going to flip right off.
Yeah.
And that fake ISIS station up there has yet to show the globe spinning. Now, at 14,000 miles revolution, or however they're doing it, you should see something. Not little white fluffy clouds that go flying by that don't freaking move.
Well, I would argue that if you go out on a clear night and lay down on your back for 6 hours, you'll see it spinning.
Generally, you know, there's no oxygen out there. How do you burn anything?
Well, how do you burn it?
There's a lot of problems.
Like with plasma, I would suppose.
Yeah, no. If it's a big old burning ball of fire, where's the oxygen coming to feed that shit?
Isn't it? Wouldn't it be plasma?
Well, define plasma, because you're going to need oxygen.
Electrified gas?
Well, you need oxygen to burn.
Do you need oxygen to burn plasma?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, for all we know, God just creates oxygen in it continuously. He upholds the entire creation. He maintains it and holds it together. He balances the entire cosmos on a pinhead. It's so pristine.
Put the bong down.
So we do have that.
Yeah, no. No. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered.
I agree, but the shape of the Earth, I just don't think it's one of them. And I don't think it would matter.
Until I started looking into it, and if you can't answer the question, you gotta lay down the answer.
Well, number one, God already showed me the shape. And so the only purpose I have for looking into it is to debunk it.
I've known God for a very long time, and the shape of the Earth has never come into anything we've ever discussed.
Well, I know. I realize that. I realize that's not going to constitute, you know, convincing evidence for someone else, but it's convinced me. And
I understand.
I'm in the position he put me in. So, and then I forgot what I was. My last point I was going to say.
Well, I can appreciate you had a dream one night or whatever, but you know, it's been ingrained since you were a child. You walked into the first classroom you ever saw, and there was one sitting in the corner, and there was never a question. And then they pulled out the 9 planets, give or take one if you want to consider Pluto. You got to be kidding me.
Well, here's a problem I have with it.
The world thought it was flat before it thought it was a globe.
Okay, but you can.
The globe is a late theory.
Well, I don't think it was ever in question. I think that when you watch a bird fly over the horizon, it's like, yep, you're on a ball.
The world was flat. That's why they didn't want Columbus in the boat.
It was never in question. Here's one. If the world is flat and Noah's flood covered the entire Earth and right over the highest mountains, so what do you think the the water looked like at the edges? Was it just running off the edges and it was like 15 cubits high, just running off every edge, or do you think it was like
what were the oceans doing at the equator?
What were the oceans? The entire Earth was an ocean. So on a flat Earth model, was the water just pouring off every side, or what?
How'd you keep the water on the globe?
How do you keep the water on the globe?
Yeah.
You don't. Oh, on a globe. How do you keep the water on a globe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That it just gravity holds it on there.
Okay, so now we have a problem with gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity is a theory. It's not something anybody can prove.
Well, it appears to be an electrical force that I can feel.
There's no opposite reaction to gravity.
Yeah, anti-gravity.
No, nope.
There's part of the Psyop right there. They have anti-gravity. They don't want you to know about it. Therefore, gravity isn't real.
Okay.
If you believe gravity is real, you'll believe anti-gravity is real.
Well, if gravity isn't real, then how does water stay where it's supposed to? Water always levels to flat. Always.
Because
horizon, always at your eye. Straight.
Right.
Do not account for the curvature of the Earth when we shoot a gun and wonder where the bullet's going to go.
It's not far enough.
We don't do it when we're calibrating roads to pave them.
It's not a far enough distance.
And pilots and ship captains also don't accommodate for it while they're shipping.
Yeah, pilots and ship captains use spherical trigonometry for a globe.
No, they don't either.
All pilots use that. Because the angles are different.
If they have no instruments, they have to go celestial.
Pilots know spherical trigonometry. They have to use it. Because they're flying, the angles are different on a sphere. That's why all pilots use spherical trigonometry.
Nope. Not buying it.
It's true. It's just true.
Well,
ask a pilot if they've learned spherical
trigonometry. You get a number of pilots that are going to tell you, without a fisheye lens, you're looking at a straight, flat horizon.
Then why can't I look over to Quebec?
Because you can't see that far as a human.
How come I can see to a star?
Well, I think you're smoking the bomb.
Well, what do you mean? You're telling me I can't see to Quebec because I'm human, but I can see the next stars over?
Well,
my eyes are good. I can't see Quebec because the Earth is a ball.
The star you're looking up. There's no landmass to have you curve or not curve to. It's not the same thing.
I understand that.
Trust me.
I'm telling you, my eyes can see for millions of miles, apparently.
I'm quite sure.
Earth is not flat, or I would be able to look over to your house and wave to you.
And of course, we've got Pluto at 93 million miles away. Oh, I'm quite sure.
Why would you think the Earth is flat, but all the other planets are balls? Like, you can look at the moon.
I don't. I don't go any further than the moon so far. I'm just at the beginning of my journey. I'm just working on those two planets.
Mars is pretty easy to see in a telescope. It's a ball.
You have no idea what you're looking at up there.
Sun's clearly a ball.
And you know what I find interesting is every time we get a picture of the planet, they're all the same size.
I do think it's really interesting how God made the sun and the moon to appear as the same size in the sky, even though the sun is way huger and the moon is way smaller, and just based on the distance. But I think that's cool, and that's God's design, and it shows that He designed it because how they line up.
You're smoking the peace pipe, man.
There's no peace pipe, nothing in there.
You are smoking the peace pipe.
The Lord made the heavens and the earth.
Yep.
The Lord made the sun and the moon. He made the sun to rule the day and the moon to rule the night.
And you don't see the word ball anywhere, do you?
They're all balls.
No balls.
And the math shows it because if you put the moon on top of the earth, and then if you drew a line around that, you would get a mathematically perfect egg shape. Because the
picture that NASA has that shows the Earth from the moon's surface, this is their official picture, is not even to scale. And secondarily, when you blow that picture up, a big-ass Photoshop for the Earth. And that's their official picture.
Yeah, I understand. I'll give it to you as a fake picture.
Have you seen those latest or the earliest Apollo 11 pictures of the moon, where you could literally see them playing with the window?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So you're going to put all your money into the ball deal, right?
Well, the thing is, I told you, I'm giving you all those fake. You know, fake video, fake pictures, but that doesn't mean the Earth's flat.
This is NASA's official photo. Now, I will agree with you that NASA is fake, but you got to ask yourself, with all of the hours and hours and hours and years, 40 freaking years, and we got some of the worst pictures and record of what the hell they're doing up there.
Right, but here, check this out.
You got knuckleheads jumping around on an airplane trying to show you that they're in low gravity orbit. You would buy anything, including the picture of fucking Pluto on Pluto.
Yeah, no, but hold on. Here's the Psyop, right? Because you're saying, okay, this is all fake. This is fake. This is fake. So hold on. So what's the conclusion? The Earth is flat. See, that's not the real conclusion. The real conclusion is because they have a secret space program and advanced technology that you're not allowed to have access to.
You know, there's a hole in the Antarctic.
You're ignoring the real conclusion, and the Psyop is achieved.
And what does the Antarctic have to do with all this? Anything?
I want Math Powerland in here right now. Math Boyland, Math Powerland, come in this room right now and defend the flat Earth. GLOBEBUSTERS too. I want the GLOBEBUSTERS in here.
How about my man Jaron? Go get Jeranism.
I'm gonna let you guys have it because it's the wrong conclusion. I like your observation. I agree with your observation.
Awesome.
Conclusion is wrong.
Astronauts on the moon.
No,
Arcane, do you want to weigh in, buddy?
I figure, man, they lied to us about everything else. I don't see any reason.
Right.
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't lie to us about the shape of the Earth.
And here's the deal. There's no need for them to fake those stupid astronauts in a goddamn plane with their hair teased up like they're in zero gravity, holding on to a ball and, you know, a mouse and a plant. It's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't believe people buy that shit.
Well, like you said, as soon as you walk into your first classroom, there it is, you know. You don't really question it. No reason to question it until you start actually seeking for the truth and realizing that everything's a bunch of lies.
Yep. That's how I'm seeing it.
You know, I want conclusive...
Well, here's the thing, evolution is a lie replacement for the truth, right? You can look at all the evidence on Earth, and they say, "Oh, this is because of evolution."
There is no evolution.
The conclusion that's a lie, that all the evidence fits.
The evidence doesn't fit. That's why. That's why it's being questioned.
That's true. The evidence doesn't fit. But what's the evidence for a flat Earth? What is the hardcore evidence, Michael? I don't know what it is. What is it?
Can I tell you the reason that this question even exists? That we don't have definite proof when we have access to have that proof at our fingertips, and we can't have it.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, so that fits my view that it's a psyop, right? You can't have access to it, therefore they're hiding something, therefore the Earth is flat. That, from my position, that's the psyop. So having no access to the information as part of the psyop fits perfectly with my worldview. What else do you got for hardcore evidence of the flat Earth?
Yeah, but then people could also argue Occam's razor on you too. You know, if you're willing to grant conspiracy psyops, then you'd have to be willing to grant that throughout history, for the most part, they thought the Earth was flat, and then recently, along with kind of the tide of evolution theory, Darwinism, humanism, scientism, secularism, the rest of it, that this illusion was put in front of us to hide the truth of a flat Earth, because the flat Earth must be sustained by God Almighty physically.
That's right. And there goes all those little scientists and those evotards right out the window.
Okay, I would counter that.
Sorry, I found that funny.
Can you please repeat that again, Arcane?
Yeah, like, because you're willing to grant that it could be a psyop, right? Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be a far stretch for you to believe that just like the evolution theory, Darwinism, and the New Age movement, and all these other potential psyops, that a flat Earth could be true, and that the psyop is that it's not true, because if it were true, the implications would mean that God exists. They would have to admit that they don't have it all figured out, that this must be God's creation. So just like the mask of the evolution theory.
If this world is Satan's world, then you have to know he's going to have that propaganda machine working overtime.
Yep.
What would be their motivation? Okay, so you're saying their motivation is that if you saw it was a disc, you would conclude God. I don't think that people would conclude, more or less people would conclude God on a flat disc or on a globe. I think that Jesus can save who's going to save.
Don't have anything to talk about.
I don't think that would be the obvious.
What other
I see what you're saying. Like if it was the only thing in the universe that was a disc,
this is why
they would at least say, okay, this is like the center or whatever.
Right.
Now, a major problem I have with that, as I said, was that all the stars and stuff out there, which we know are really far away because of, you can look at it with a really powerful telescope and it's still really far away. They would have to be just traveling like at astronomical speeds that would just rip apart a heavenly body at that speed. It would just rip into shreds.
I don't see how.
And let me ask you a question. Do you honestly think that space shuttle comes down as a glider?
No.
They call it dead sticking in the aviation.
No, like I said, I'm giving you the whole fake NASA space program. Fake.
Okay, well, why would they fake it? Just to get up there to do other things? And go to
just to convince everyone that is, in fact, the space program, which it's not. They have an advanced space program.
I know. I get
a black budget, and it's all under the radar, and it's all paid for with drug money.
Here's the deal. The people would pay for them to go to Pluto if that's what they wanted to do. We're sending them up there to masturbate. Why wouldn't we send them to Pluto? I mean, seriously, they don't have to do this just to get money.
They'll send you to Pluto when they make a mine on Pluto. They need you to work in.
There's no going to Pluto. We might have weapons up there, but they're not doing space travel. We don't have people sitting on Mars in a dome.
I disagree. I think that the fallen angel Nephilim taught them space travel technology by now, for sure.
Well, I would not doubt that. I've seen a few things in the air that shouldn't be there. Don't know what to make of it. Just know that it wasn't anything that we owned. I knew that right out of the chute. That was easy to discern.
Yeah, but I have to ask you though, Island. Since you grant that the NASA is a bunch of bull, what evidence would there be then that the Earth is indeed a globe? Because people are relying on these footages and things from outer space provided by NASA. And if you're saying that they're unreliable, what else could you point to say this is evidence, of around Earth?
Well, a good one I think is in Isaiah. It says that God sits above the circle of the earth, which I think clearly describes a sphere because a sphere appears as a circle when you look at it.
No, changing the language there, Chief. Okay, circle is not ball. Circle is not sphere.
Well, as I said, a sphere appears as a circle, just as the Bible says the humans appear as grasshoppers. It doesn't mean they are grasshoppers. It means they look like grasshoppers.
You meant grasshopper as in term of size. Okay, but you're looking at
from a certain perspective. So
and at no time would you ever confuse a ball for a circle, ever.
Then here, if it is a flat disc, then God was lying because he said
He wasn't lying. He described it. He described it perfectly.
He didn't say he sits above the disc of the earth.
Here's the deal. You know what? In real estate, they have language. Okay? Now, you go to your real estate agent and you say to him, I'm looking for some beachfront property or waterfront property. Next thing you know, he's got you in a pup tent in front of a puddle. Okay? It's not specific language. Waterfront property. Could be anything from an ocean and a condo up to the puddle and the pup tent.
And not only that, when you're talking about the circle, man, if you're looking down on a disc, it would be a circle.
From one perspective out of like 364 other
the guy that developed it. His perspective.
Think about it that arcane. If you look at it, a disc, it's only a circle from 1 degree out of 360 degrees. So that wouldn't make sense to say he sits above the circle of the earth.
Well, if he's above the circle, then from that perspective, when you're looking down, you're going to see a disc.
And also, but also a circle is a two-dimensional object. So when it says he sits above the circle of the earth, it's clearly not saying he sits above the two-dimensional object of the earth.
He made a ball and he started to spin it at 14,000 miles an hour, and then he threw some mountains on there, he threw a little water on there, some foliage, and that shit all stuck. You know.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, I find that kind of hard to believe too, that we're traveling at 66,000 miles per hour, and that.
And then we think we're going to get a spaceship to dock up to it.
But here's the thing, Arcane. If you're not moving that fast, then the stars are moving like a billion times that fast.
No.
I don't think that follows either. I heard you mention that earlier, and I've heard some people make some arguments that that's not the case. That if the Earth was completely still, then the expanse could be just spinning around us. Like we could literally be the center of the universe, and God expanded everything outwards from here. So when we look up, we're seeing the expansion. We think we're moving through space because it's expanding and it's moving, but we're not. So I don't see how it follows that they would be moving too fast. Like, how does that work?
Well, just because of the distance and how fast they go across the sky. If that was them moving, then, and you know, those distances,
no propulsion.
they're moving like I'm gonna have to get the calculation for next time, but they'd be moving like 100 billion miles an hour, light years an hour.
And don't we see the same stars like pretty much all year round?
No, and you have to account for progression, which means over the years these things transit, they move. The stars don't stay in the same spot.
I mean precession.
I know, there's all kinds of like mathematical formulas. See, there'd be thousands of mathematical formulas that would all attest to a sphere and to the cosmos as we understand it. That all you know, astronomical calculations. Do you know an interesting thing? This isn't really that related, but Jason Lyle, he's a creationist. He's an astronomer. He says that you can see the moon rover on the moon with a telescope.
Huh.
You know that? That's interesting, eh?
There's
need to get a telescope.
another one smoking the bomb. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And in the evening and in the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herbs yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth the grass, and the herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was itself after his kind, and God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, which I would think would be a star. So let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And so it was. Okay, well, the only thing that gives light is the sun. Moon a little bit. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. He made stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And then the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that have fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl and his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning was the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, the cattle and the creeping thing and the beast of the earth and of his kind. And so it was. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl in the air, and over the cattle, and over all of earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him, male and female he created them. He blessed them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and everything living and that moveth. And God said, behold, I giveth you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of this earth, and every tree in which is of the fruit of the tree yielding seeds, so it shall be for meat. Nobody gets to the land part. Who beast of the earth, heavens and earth were finished. Okay, so the beast of the earth to every fowl in the air, and everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. In the evening and the morning there was the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all host of them. And on the seventh day he ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all of his work which he had made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. In that day the Lord made the earth and the heavens. Every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face from the ground. And the Lord God formed man, and of dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Man became a living soul. Now he's in the Garden of Eden. River went out of Eden to water the garden. A river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from it thence was parted and became four heads. Talking about rivers. Where is it where they put the I don't want to be in Eden yet. I want them to talk about how he developed the earth. I thought we covered that in Genesis. Pardon me?
I was just hoping you were going to read.
Well, I thought it would be in here. Understanding.
Getting a little bit of feedback there, but were you looking for the God made firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament?
The one where no, I already went through that. I'm looking for the one where describes the four pillars and that whole thing.
Oh yeah, well, I think in a few places the Bible mentions the pillars of the earth. But it always seems to use it in an obviously idiomatic way. In Job, it says he shakes the earth from its place and makes its pillars tremble.
I wonder what the Talmud says.
And I think there's another one in 1 Samuel 2:8. It says, he raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. So in this context, in Samuel, you can see he says he raises the poor out of the dust and lifteth them up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to them to inherit the throne of glory. And then he says, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set up the world upon them. So in this sense, the pillars are like people, and the power that God gives to those people and establishes them as pillars.
Well,
so,
hold on there, because
like pillars of the community.
no, and that's one way you could look at it, but I don't believe that that's how he made it. It's generally agreed that in Bible circles, it's described as immovable earth. Now, for example, I'm going to post something for you in the side.
And taking the meaning of what I just exegeted out of that passage, so into the passage you're referring to, when God says the pillars of the earth, are established, are movable, he is talking about powers and principalities that he sets up. When God sets up a ruler or power or principality on a part of the earth, that is immovable because of who establishes it. He's not talking about flat concrete pillars holding up a parking lot. But I think that is an awesome place to end the discussion for today. It was really nice to meet you, Michael.
Nice meeting you as well. This is a great topic.
Yeah, I thought so too. And I'm going to probably do a little bit more research into the topic, and maybe come back with some more hardcore evidences and whatnot, and maybe tackle this again. And hopefully I'm hoping to get the GLOBEBUSTERS in here, or any other like more prominent teachers of the flat earth thing, and see what they really got. And I'll come back.
Jeranism is really good. Have you ever listened to Jeranism?
Jeranism, yeah. I've been kind of watching him a few nights this week, and that was one of the forums and where I was kind of getting into this thing. So yeah, Jeranism. This is an open debate challenge for Jeranism and the GLOBEBUSTERS and whoever else.
Did you ever see a guy by the name of Crow, CRROW 777?
No, I don't know who that guy is.
Okay, I'm going to post this there. Check him out. Check him out. He does amazing work with his telescope. Amazing work. You'll be freaked out when you see what he's got. Cool.
Awesome. And he's welcome to come back next time. We're definitely going to do this again. And I also want to get Math Powerland in here, or Math Boyland, or whatever he goes by, the painter guy. I like some of his stuff, but he's been going a little flat earth on me lately too. So any of you guys who want to come in next time and debate the flat earth topic, maybe I'll shoot you over an email or whatever. And
sounds good.
That's a great spot to end for tonight. So thanks for coming on, Michael.
Thanks.
It was great to have you on the show, and Arcane, and we'll see you next time on the Flat Earth Psyop Debate Challenge with Fritz Stamberger for Island Online News.